Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Turn 3 Racing Network as the North-South Racing League makes its long-awaited debut back here in the 2025 season for the fall season. A lot of ups and downs this summer. We bring in our good friend, Mr. Kelly Dahl. And Kelly, congratulations on your marriage during the off season. But we're back to racing here at Kern County Raceway for the Street Stock Series presented by Sandi Paws Rescue.
Yeah, thank you, Al. I've been looking forward to getting back to this probably as much as you have, especially with us opening with the street stocks. I don't think we've mentioned just yet, but there will be 3 different series throughout the entire season here with the North-South Racing League with 3 different cars, and we're started it all off with the street stocks. And last year, these kind of became one of my favorite cars to call because these guys are muscling these things through the corner. These cars do not like to be planted. They are all over the place, and they're just so much fun to both just race and watch.
That they are, and these guys are going to be able to lean on each other. A long race tonight. We're starting off the season with a showdown race, 150 laps in action, unlimited tires, but they got 40% fuel. We're going to see a lot of strategy come into play with some of the best short track racers in the country signing up here for the North-South Racing League, and it's going to be a good one looking here at this season, and a lot of familiar names, but also some new names that are going to be on there. We'll touch base with them a little bit later on, but we want to thank our title sponsor of this division, the Sandi Paws Rescue, based out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Sandi Paws Rescue is a 100% volunteer-run foster home-based animal rescue dedicated for saving lives of abused, neglected, and unwanted dogs and cats. They provide safe shelter, medical care, rehabilitation, and loving forever homes for the animals in need. Their mission is simple but powerful: to protect the quality of life and improve the well-being of abused, neglected, and unwanted companion animals. They don't operate a physical shelter. Every animal they help is placed in a loving foster home until they are ready for adoption. Whether you're looking to adopt, volunteer, or donate, the organization thrives on the support of people who believe in giving animals a second chance. Like we said earlier, located in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. You can find them on the World Wide Web at sandipaws.org. And if you love racing and you love animals, join us in supporting an organization that's truly making a difference, one paw at a time. And Kelly, great to have them on board, and we're going to be able to give them great recognition this all season long. We also like to thank our friend at RC2 Promotions and Graphics. That would be our friend Robbie, as they will be a presenting sponsor of our Hard Charger Award this season. And RC2 Graphic Solutions is your go-to source for professional graphic design specializing in the racing industry. From season schedules to event flyers and winning graphics to social media content, they deliver high-quality designs to make your league or event stand out. Need custom graphics? Contact them today at rc2graphicsolutions@gmail.com. And Kelly, just like that, we are getting ready to go into some qualifying here real quick. And we are looking forward to that here this afternoon, and what is going to be a great night of racing at the Kern County Speedway. And right now, cars getting up onto the racetrack for the first time in 2025.
Yeah, we saw Bryan Hacker fastest in practice. Yesterday, they did a pre-race practice, and it was Justin Grosser that actually took the top spot there. So he'll be looking to maybe answer back when it really matters here in qualifying. We got a number of cars out on track. A lot of these guys are anxious to get the season started. I think it is going to be Dan Janjanin and the 45 as well are going to be the first cars to come and put down a lap time. And we'll see who will go to the top of the board. And first off, it is going to be Travis, and then Dan Janjan a little bit slower. Justin Grosser immediately puts up a 19.737 to take the top of the board.
Yeah, and right now we're taking a look at that leaderboard here, and Grosser to the top. Jeff Bergner out there. How about Odegaard, Chad McLeod out onto the racetrack in the 93 automobile. He goes second quick as Justin Grosser up on the top of this one here. Tonight's racing activities going to be our time trials, followed by our J&T Farms redraw, followed by the Sandi Paws kickoff to the season, the 150 lap main event. Let's take a look at that current score. Jeff Bergner to the top now with a 19.72.
And it is looking like Justin Grosser is only going to put down the one lap. Didn't go for a second. Rob Donitzen will take third place now as Gary Eschen, he jumps to the top of the board, a 19.711. So he'll take over the top spot for now. And it's about half the field has qualified. Still a number of fast drivers to go. Let's see if anyone's going to be able to take that spot from Gary.
Eschen going to go a little bit slower on lap number 2. Now Ryan Johnson in the 38 car up onto the racetrack. Ran a part-time schedule 1 year ago. He's made the long track out here to the Kern County Raceway for the season openers. We are here tonight for the first time in the fall of 2025. And Kelly, you alluded to it. We had the street stocks up first for their 10-week season. Then we're going to go ARCA racing, and that's going to be interesting to see here. We go to a little bit bigger tracks, and then in the springtime, we will head back to the full fender short track cars, the late model stocks. Right now, our favorite cars to call, and you alluded to it. These guys are going to put on a show. And right now, Johnson, 20th quick on lap number 1. Lap number 2, good enough for 12th quick.
Yeah, Rodney Huntoon was able to put himself up into the top 5 with a 19.773. Currently holding on to the last spot of the redraw. That is the 45 car. He is still hanging on there by 0.001 over Amos Odegaard.
Next car up onto the racetrack, the driver out of Huntley, Illinois. In the car number 2, the Austin Designs on the hood. It is Bryan Hacker. Hacker up onto the racetrack, and a sharp-looking race car.
I believe Dustin Shepard is also rolled out onto the track to take his time. We got a few drivers left to go and just over a minute left in qualifying here. But Bryan Hacker going to come around turn 4. Let's see, is he going to go to the top of the board? 19.711 to beat, and he'll put down a 19.777. So he will miss the mark. He's actually 7th right now.
Yeah, and we've got 5 cars out on the racetrack as Shepard comes across for lap number 1. Shepard going to go 21st quick on lap number 1. Lap number 2 for Bryan Hacker. A little bit quicker. He'll go 3rd quick with a 19.73. Dustin Shepard working off turn number 4. We'll see if lap number 2 is quicker for the ZooFab Garage number 89. And it is 6th quick for the 89 of Dustin Shepard.
Scott Austin now holding on to the last redraw position as Lewis Flowers will come in 13th with a 19.799. Still a couple drivers left to go. Dante Curtis is about to finish his lap along with Dylan Connor. Connor held a number of fast time awards last season. He's going to try to go for one here right off the bat. 19.697. Moved the number 90 up to the top of the board.
That'll knock Austin out of the J&D Farms redraw. Huntoon on the hot seat now as Dante Curtis comes off the corner, but it looks like he is not going to get his lap in there, Kelly. And that means we are done with our qualifying here. It looks like we have a B main getting ready to get gridded up here, but as we do that, we will get ready to go with our first redraw of the season. And I don't know about you, Kelly, but this has become one of my favorite parts of the night. And this year it is brought to you by J&D Farms. Now, don't bother Googling it. It is not your average sponsor. J&D Farms is a brainchild of a self-proclaimed crazy redneck who just thought iRacing was cool and wanted to see his name on the broadcast. Hey, we can make that happen with the J&D Farms. And you know what? We respect that. And we thank you, J&D Farms. So whether you've pulled a lucky number 1 pill or get stuck with the dreaded 8, remember, it's all thanks to J&D Farms, supporting racing, supporting the show, and officially a legend in the North-South Racing League. So there it is, Kelly. What do you think about that?
That is definitely one way to get your name out there, up on the board. But I think we are going to get the last of our drivers here together. What do we got?
Well, the good news is we have no winners from previous time. So we will be able to just grab the top 8.
Yep, I'm trying to work on that.
All right. We can work with that. We got Dylan.
You want to grab our first here? I'm going to keep...
yeah, we can do that. As we get ready to go into this one, we will catch up with the fast time of the night, Mr. Dylan Connor. Dylan Connor, welcome to the J&D Farms Top 8 redraw. What a way to start off the season. You're picking up the L Speed Shot Fast Time Award here in qualifying. And you're going to grab that. Well, you're going to be the first one into the redraw. First of all, how's your summer been? Welcome back to the show.
Oh, it's been great, man. I'm just glad to be back. It's obviously a very stacked league with how tight these times are. So just looking forward to getting this season started on a good note.
On a good note, it is always a good note to be in the top 8 redraw. Well, you got the pick of the litter, 1 through 8. Which number would you like to come off the board first?
I'm gonna go with 4.
Number 4 coming off the board, and that's going to be inside row number 3. It's going to be Pete number 5. Going to start from that inside of the row number 3. Can you get it done? 150 laps is a long ways to go here. We know we're going to have probably a fuel stop or 2. What's it going to take to put that 90 up in the victory lane?
I think, as always with these long races, patience is going to be key and just trying to keep your stuff clean. But I think the groove's going to move up throughout the night, so I think the top's going to come in really good at the end of the race.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and thank you for being our first choose of the J&D Farms Top 8 redraw. Best of luck here tonight. Hopefully we'll talk to you a little bit later.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Kelly, Dylan Connor going to roll off in P number 5 here tonight.
Yeah, that means we're going to catch up with our next driver here, and that is going to be the driver, the number 23 of Gary Eschen. Gary, good way to start the season with a very quick time. Do you think you can have that pace over 150 laps?
I hope so. Right now I'm experiencing some difficulties, so I don't know if I'll be making the race.
Oh no, well hopefully you can get things sorted. We're gonna give you the redraw here, under the hopeful assumption that you will be making the grid. Number 4 has been taken. Other than that, the choice is yours.
Let's go number 1.
All right, number 1 coming off the board. You'll be starting on the outside of row 2 in P number 4. You think that's a good spot to be to start this race?
Yeah, hopefully the high side can get rolling, trap the lower ones down, and hopefully we can get out to a lead quick, and hopefully it'll be a good, clean race. A lot of green flag racing. So yeah, we'll hope for a good one.
All right, well, we will let you go, Gary. Hopefully you can sort out whatever gremlins you've got bothering you, and you can make the green flag here later tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, so Gary Eschen, driver, the number 23. He'll be sliding back a couple spots. He'll be starting in P4, Al.
Absolutely, and we've caught up with our third fast time qualifier of the evening, number 21 of Jeff Bergner. And Jeff, welcome back. What a great way to come back to the NSRL, presented by Sandi Paws Rescue here, and you make it into the J&D Farms Top 8 redraw. First of all, you have a good summer. How you been?
Oh, not too bad. How about yourselves, guys?
It's been a busy summer, as always, but we're glad to be back and ready to go with action here tonight. What a fast lap there. This field really tight here tonight. What do you think that bodes for racing?
I'm just really surprised I even made it in the top 8, to be honest with you. I was struggling during laps, and yeah, here we are.
All right. The number 1 and the number 4 have already been chosen. You can pick any of the other numbers. Which number would you like?
Let's do 7.
Number 7, and Jeff Bergner going to move up 1 spot from where he qualified. He will start on the outside of the front row. What's it going to take to stay up there for 150 laps?
Probably a lot more talent than I have, but yeah, anything's possible.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Jeff. Congratulations again, making the J&D Farms Top 8 redraw. We hope to be talking to you later on this evening.
Sounds good. Hopefully so. Have a great night, guys.
All right, Kelly, that is our third qualifier. You're catching up now with a champion of the North-South Racing League, Bryan Hacker.
Yeah, here now with the defending champ. And Brian, it looks like you have some pace here tonight. Where are you finding the speed here out on the racetrack?
If I told you that, I'd have to kill you. But I think there's going to be a couple different lines tonight, so I don't think it's going to be, one line dominant. I think you're going to be able to move around a little bit and find some speed. Hopefully that's the case. We'll see. If we get a lot of green flag laps, I think the heat in the track's going to change up how you drive it.
Look, Brian, I may have had to register as a racer here tonight because of some iRacing issues, but that does not mean I'll be out there on the track. Even if I did, you could tell me exactly what to do. I don't think we will be in the same zip code.
I've seen you race. You can hold your own.
I can hold my own things that have downforce.
Fair. These don't.
These do not. All right, so still on the board is the 2, 3, 5, 6, and 8. What would you like here tonight? The poll is still out there.
All right. Well, it's got to be under number 6.
All right, we'll go on to number 6, and it's not the pole, but it's close. It is third place, so inside of row 2. Were you still hoping for an inside line to start the night?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter all that much, but it's always nice to start inside just to have that safety net and the extra 4 tires on the outside of you if you need them. So we'll take third. A long ways to go, so we just got to keep it clean.
All right, well, hopefully we won't be leaning on those guys on the outside too much at the start, and hopefully your car will still be looking nice at the end of the night, so good luck to you.
Thanks, Kelly.
All right, so Bryan Hacker starting on the inside of row 2, and we've got the 4 positions that have been taken, and it's 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, so far the poll's still out there, Kelly. And then we got the back half of this J&D Farms Top 8 redraw, and they'll find out from this next driver where he will be starting. It's the driver of the 00 of Rob Donitzen. And Donitzen, another fast qualifying lap, and this field really, really tight. I'm looking at these results. Top 12, less than a tenth away. What's making the field so tight here tonight?
It's a fun track to race on. It's got a lot of grip and just multiple lines. So, I think it suits a lot of people's driving style. So it's just going to be a good, close race, I think.
Well, we've got the pole still available. We've also got the back half of the field. 150 laps, does it matter where you start? Obviously, the farther you start up front, the better chances you have, but 150 laps is a long ways to go.
Yeah, I think the farther up you start, the better. You don't want to get caught up in some mess early on. So, a lot of guys like to get out there and spread out a little bit, ride for a little while. So hopefully towards the front's a little bit better.
All right, numbers left to choose from are 2, 3, 8, and 5. Which number would you like?
Let's go with the old Dale again, number 3.
Number 3, that's going to be the outside of row number 3. That's going to be P number 6 for you. Can you get it done from there?
I hope so. I think I'm a little bit low on talent compared to some of these guys, but we'll see how it works out.
All right, we wish you the best of luck here in tonight's season opener for the Sandi Paws Rescue Street Stock Series, and we thank you for your time. Hopefully we'll be talking to you a little bit later on in the Sim Race Hub post-race show.
All right, thanks, guys.
There you go, Kelly. Now that is 2 through 6 spots covered. We still got that pole out there as you catch up with the driver of the number 16, Justin Grosser.
Yeah, here now with Justin Grosser. And Justin, it's a 150 lap race. Are you stressing that much about this redraw?
Not really. It's a long race. I'm just glad that we got that sponsor in here, Sandi Paws Rescue, because we got some dogs in this league. This is a tough field, man. This is a real tough, tight field, and it's somehow it got tighter while I was away, and now I'm back, and yeah, it's just a tight field, man.
All right, well, we haven't even dropped the green flag yet. I think we've got the best sponsor activation of the season.
You got to take care of the people, take care of you, right?
Yeah, all right, but so you're either going to be starting at the front of this redraw pack or the back. We have the pole still available or 7th and 8th. So your choices are 2, 5, and 8. What would you like?
Let's go with 5.
I'm gonna go with 5, and that means you'll be starting at the back. So it is going to be P8 for you here.
Yeah.
But like you said, you don't think it's going to matter for 150 laps, do you?
No, I mean, it's all going to be a strategy race anyway, so it ain't going to matter.
All right. Well, hopefully the strategy works in your favor, and we'll be talking to you later tonight. Good luck to you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
All right, so finally we break out of the pattern of all of the spots being together, but still it is front or back basically for our last 2 drivers. And Al, I think it's going to be the next one up for you, Dustin Shepard.
Yeah, we're here with the owner and proprietor of ZooFab Garage, making all things go fast. And Dustin, first of all, hopefully you've had a good summer. I know the shop's been pretty busy, man, but you're fast once again. You're in this J&D Farms Top 8 redraw to start off the season. That's always a plus.
Yeah, so I was actually working it right up until qualifying. I had no practice tonight or nothing. Came in to qualify and put a good enough lap to get the redraw.
A very good lap. This looking at this field, the top 12 cars all underneath a tenth of a second. You got a lot of fast drivers in this league, and some stout rookies. And once again at the North-South Racing League.
Yeah, I said we have a stout group of drivers. I said, of course, our regulars and then some of the newcomers show good pace. So, I'm excited. I'm sure everybody's excited to see how the season goes.
Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news for you. The good news is the pole's still available, but so isn't P number 7. So it's one or the other. It's going to be the front or the back, but it's an inside
50-50 shot.
Yeah, that's what you got. The numbers left to choose from are 2 or the number 8.
Oh man, that's hard because who knows what I guess Robbie. Did you guys do it or Robbie do it? Who did the random? I don't even know. Let's go
We'll
8.
plead the 5th.
Starting 7th, Dustin Shepard.
Well, he called it. Did you do the numbers? You said
no, I didn't.
You
I
said
just know
8.
my luck.
You know your luck.
I just know my luck.
Hey, well, no harm really, because that's where you qualified overall,
Right.
and this race is going to be 150 laps. It's all going to come down to tires and probably a little bit of pit strategy here with that capped fuel load here. This racetrack going to put on such a great show like you guys do week in and week out. Anyways, we're excited to be back. You sound excited to be back.
I am. I needed it. I need it. I'm ready to race. Missed the group of guys. Like we practiced last night. Had a good time cutting up. Said glad you guys are back. Said we're ready to go.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations once again on making the J&D Farms Top 8 redraw. We thank you guys for the support, and we look forward to see what this ZooFab Garage DCD car can do tonight.
All right. Thank y'all.
There you go. Dustin Shepard going to start P7, Kelly. And I think that Rodney should go, get a lottery ticket. Is this the 3rd or 4th time that this has happened for him over the last 2 seasons?
It's definitely happened to him a couple of times, so we'll have to see what he's got for his good luck charm, because this has certainly kind of just been falling in his favor. But let's catch up with him now, let him know the good news. And catching up now with Rodney Huntoon. Rodney, you looking forward to the start of this season?
I am. I like the street stocks.
Well, I'm glad you're looking forward to this, because we have got some good news for you, because you don't get to pick your starting spot. Everyone else has picked for you. And the rest of the field, you can say thank you to them. They have decided that you get the pole.
Well, that's very nice of them.
They have picked every number except the pole position. So you get to, by just the virtue of it landing in your lap, to roll off in P1. And Al and I were just discussing it. We don't think this is the first time this has happened for you, nor even the second.
No, it's happened quite a few times, and I'll take it.
All right, well, hopefully your good luck will continue on through tonight, and we will be talking to you at the end of 150 laps.
All right, thank you.
All right, so Rodney Huntoon will be rolling off in P number 1, leading the field to the first green flag of the season, purely off of luck.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good, Kelly.
I'm not really either, so I can't really comment on that.
People always have told me that. I'm right there with you. But, it's going to be a great night of racing. And once again, thanks to J&D Farms for stepping up and being our top 8 redraw sponsor for this season. And we got some special graphics that we're working on for them throughout the rest of the season. I know tonight it wasn't quite ready, but it'll be worth it. Trust me, Kelly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this finally getting started. We've been talking about how the times have been so close, especially in qualifying. Even here in the warm-up, the times are tight. Pretty much the whole top half of the field are within a tenth or two of each other. So it should be some good tight racing. Drivers are saying there's going to be multiple lines here tonight. So hopefully it is going to be a lot of passing, a lot of opportunities for these drivers, and a little bit of opportunity for some strategy as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the most important part of the evening is the strategy side of the racing here tonight. A 40% cap on the fuel, which if you're new to the iRacing platform, that means over this 150 laps that we have coming up here in a little bit, it's going to be, your fuel load is not 100%. Pretty much take your fuel tank, cut 60% and throw it in the trash. And then you can only fill up your tank 40%. So it's going to be interesting to see. Unlimited tires also this season for the Sandi Paws Street Stock Series. And it is going to be such an interesting play. And we do know that tires do make a difference.
Yeah, the tires can make a huge difference, and they've got as many of them as they want. So we may be seeing drivers coming down, especially in the back half of the field, every single time we've got a caution. But looks like it is time to get our drivers out onto the racetrack for the first time this season, and we're ready for the Kern Kickoff 150.
That we are, as the field gets ready to go here this evening, and this is your starting lineup. Starting on the pole, virtue of the J&D Farms top 8 redraw, it is Rodney Huntoon and Jeff Bergner going to roll off on the outside of row number 1. Row number 2 is going to be Bryan Hacker and Gary Eschen. Dylan Connor will roll off in the 5th spot, and outside of him, the number 00 of Rob Donitzen. Dustin Shepard and Justin Grosser will make up row number 4. Row number 5 is going to be Scott Austin and Chad McLeod. And rounding out your top 6, Travis Sukup and Amos Odegaard will start in P12.
And Scott Negus will be rolling off in 13th in that 55 machine. To his outside, we've got another one of the rookies of Lewis Flowers. Dante Curtis in that 03 machine rolls off in 15th. John Cole to his outside. Ryan Johnson starting a little bit further back in the field as he returns to the NSRL, starting in 17th with Matt Cook on his outside. Row number 9. Randy Nichols in the number 69 car will be rolling off in 19th. Adam Gable starts in 20th. Dan Jan will be starting in 21st. 22nd, we'll see Austin Williams. Braiden Campbell will be starting 23rd. Travis Hoffler in 24th. Mike Tasharow will be starting in 25th. And Ethan Wolf rounds out our 26 car field.
28 drivers signing in. Kelly.
Hey, look,
Your name is on the grid.
That was how I had to get in here.
Hey, your name is on the grid. How about that? No, congratulations to those guys. Robbie Clevey also in there, one of the admins of this series. Hey, it wouldn't be a night if I wasn't picking on you. Come on now. Hey, lights are out.
We gotta have the first night teething problems.
Ah, yes. We'll get it. We'll get you straightened out. But the lights are out. The pace truck getting ready to pull in as the dogs are going to get let loose in the Sandi Paws Rescue Street Stock Series for the first time in 2025. Green flag is up, and we are underway.
Rodney Huntoon leads the field down towards turn number 1, and on his outside, we see Jeff Bergner trying to hang on. They're nearly going to go 3 wide. They are going to go 3 wide right off the bat. Lap 1, they are trying to go for it. Bryan Hacker is going to back off, and that's going to force a little bit of a checkup. Rob Donitzen goes up to the racetrack. Oh, big wiggle from Hacker coming off of turn 4. And we have had a lot of action just on lap 1.
Lap number 1, and they are still 2 by 2, side by side down the back stretch. As Bergner has put in the chrome car out in the front of that one is there, but Rodney Huntoon battling back on the inside. How about the mill? Number 23 of Gary Eschen. He rolls the outside trying to make something happen. And Kelly, they did talk about where they thought this track is going to widen out as the night goes on, and we are already seeing 2 grooves of racing. Could we possibly get up to 3, maybe 4 grooves, as that progressive banking here at the Kern County Raceway always putting on a good show here as the field rolling through turns 1 and 2. Already 3 laps in, working lap number 4 down the backstretch.
Yeah, now Rodney Huntoon starting to answer back on that inside line. He's starting to nose his way forward as Jeff Bergner keeps trying to roll the top. Neither line really seems to have an advantage over the other. Both of them seem to be pretty much equal footing, as Rodney Huntoon will take that lap there as with a 0.030 gap at the line. Now he's going to widen that gap, going to get himself clear of that 21 car, but the caution will fly for the first time here tonight.
And it is
looks to be Chad McLeod.
Chad McLeod in the 93, and that front bumper cap has come off as our first yellow flag of the year comes out, presented by Mad Plowing. And Mad Plowing is your go-to landscaping company in Oregon, Wisconsin area, specializing in snow removal during the winter and mowing services all summer long. Whether it's clearing your driveway or keeping your lawns pristine, they've got you covered. Call them today at 608-217-3528 for your landscaping needs. And Kelly, I think McLeod's going to need a little bit of landscaping on the front end of that 93 Monte Carlo.
Yeah, a little bit of damage to, or not a little bit, a lot of damage to both of those machines. That may be an early night for the 2 of them, as I think they are both coming down pit road. At least the 45 is down there trying to get some damage repaired and also getting a fresh set of tires. But that whole front end is completely wrecked, along with the left rear of it.
Yeah, Silko, one of our rookie competitors here this evening, down here on pit road as the field rolls by. I believe next time by will potentially be our first choose cone of the season. Another unique aspect of the North-South Racing League as they get their choose cone. The rumor is, Kelly, and I think this is good for the admin side of it, the choose cone might be coming out, or at least it's been in development.
Yeah, iRacing has stated they will be bringing the choose cone to the sim, and I think we're a lot of people looking forward to it. Here we are, the first time by with our makeshift choose cone. We got Rodney Huntoon to the inside, Hacker to the outside, and then Jeff Bergner. And I'm kind of surprised to have seen Hacker lined up in second. I thought Bergner was in front of him before the caution flew, but I guess Hacker just got his nose ahead.
Everybody using that outside. Oh, there goes the cone. I think that might have been one of our back markers. Hopefully it is fine. And that was once again brought to you by Mad Plowing. So we thank Mad Plowing for being our choose cone sponsor. And pretty much as we would guess it, in and out. A couple guys in the back of the pack choosing to go to the outside inside.
Yeah, I mean, with both lines kind of producing similar results, it's just basically going to be a left-right kind of night, unless one line does start to really develop later on here. I think the main thing is just going to be trying to search for the grip, search for where the heat isn't on the racetrack, as these drivers will put some temperature down, put some more rubber down on the track.
Yep.
But Rodney Huntoon will once again be leading the field to green here as the pace car ducks to the safety of pit road.
Green flag going to come back out as the field rolls through turns 3 and 4 and into the Sandi Paws restart zone. Green flag waving by our flagman Barney. And we are back racing. Dante Curtis with a rough start on the outside, and he is dropping back. Something going on with that 0-3 car. Gets it back up to speed. And Kelly, I was going to say 3 drivers electing to go down pit road during that yellow flag. Dustin Shepard, Dan Gingin, and Justin Grosser all electing to come down pit road to make some adjustments to those cars. As Huntoon, Hacker, Connor, your top 3 Connor under fire as Bergner goes underneath him in that 21 car.
And Bergner is leaning up against them, as Bryan Hacker alluded to earlier. It is nice to have those 4 extra tires to lean against, and that 21 car is taking advantage of the 90, as now Bryan Hacker able to slip by Rodney Huntoon, as Huntoon took the high line, didn't quite carry the speed off it, and that allowed Bryan Hacker to slip on through. And now Dylan Connor still trying to put the pressure on, trying to get himself clear of the 21 car as these guys both get closer and closer to our front 2.
That they do. Pretty much behind Connor and Bergner. They have single filed out, as you see Gary Eschen and Donitzen in that 00. How about Scott Negus in the 55 car? Fellow Canadian to you, Kelly, up there. We're good to see Scott back in the field here this season. Right there behind him, how about Josh Cole and Ryan Johnson battling it out? Both him and Nichols so far up 10 spots since the green flag has dropped here this afternoon. Looks like Bergner got a little bit free, and that's going to stack up the field 3 wide on the front stretch.
Yeah, and Ryan Johnson going to fly up the middle there, gain a couple spots for himself, and he's now going to have to roll that outside line as the 21 car tries to cool off his tires and fight his way back up, as the 38 will actually get clear and get himself down to the bottom. That 38 car of Johnson is moving.
It's Ryan Johnson doing a great job right now. Oh, trouble behind him as the round they will go.
Oh,
big pile up. Big junk down in turns 1 and 2. Scott Negus involved. I believe that was a 21 car also. Lewis Flowers looks like he's able to pull away. Dan Janjanin, that was a big one down in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, a lot of drivers involved in that one, as the field was just tight into turn 1. Negus looked like he was going to get away with it, but then a couple cars slid up into him as he sat on that outside lane here, and I'm sure a few cars will be coming down pit road, going to try to hammer that damage out, get a fresh set of tires on while they do so, because there's still a lot of racing left here tonight. We are only coming on to lap 19 of 150.
Yeah, Bergner going to get a lot of front end damage as Travis Hoffler came through in the 1 car, and some other cars making a little bit more contact as well. Let's get one more look at it. We will go on board with Scott. And around he will go. And oh, some heavy contact there, Kelly.
Yeah, lots of cars involved, lots of cars beat up after that one. Few drivers able to sneak out of pit road before the pace car came around. Dante Curtis and Chad McLeod rushing out of there. And Dante Curtis last time on the restart, it was a missed shift that caused his problem. And he looked like he could not get himself up into the next gear. And thankfully, the drivers behind him were able to get around. As soon as I saw him start to drop back, I was certain that we were going to have a quick caution, but he was able to just get shuffled out on the high side. Drivers were able to sneak underneath him, and we were able to avoid any major incidents at that time.
As they come through the Mad Plowing Choose cone, and the first 3 cars all going down low. I believe Scott Austin's the first car to jump to the outside lane. A lot of takers to that inside lane there, Kelly.
Yeah, a lot of people choosing the inside that time around. Looks like the inside may be a little bit faster at this stage of the race, but we'll have to see if that outside lane comes back. Bryan Hacker going to be leading the field this time to the green flag, and we'll have his teammate to the outside of Scott Austin, and we get back to racing. Green flag up in the air. Bryan Hacker leading the field down to the turn 1. Scott Austin immediately going to slot down in there, but as he can, try to run blocker for him. But there goes the 90 of Dylan Connor off of turn 2, able to get his nose underneath the 5 of Scott Austin. So that's going to force Austin to stay up in that high lane. Right behind him is Randy Nichols, who looks to be rolling that high side quite well. He's got a lot of momentum coming down the front straightaway, but nowhere to go with it.
Yeah, Nichols, the driver out of Texas, working into the 4th spot now. Up 15 spots. Started back there in the 19th position, starting back, and now rides himself in 4th, and he has got a fast Thunderbird. Those Fords coming to the front, trying to chase down those Chevys. As Bryan Hacker out front, side-by-side action behind him with Huntoon and Gary Eschen. How about the 60 car of Odegaard? Sharp-looking race car for him as he's trying to close in. He's trying to hold off the advances of the 00 of Donitzen. And Rob Donitzen doing a good job in that 00.
Yeah, Rodney Huntoon now having to fend on the high side from the 23 of Eschen, while in front of them we're still a battle for second place going on. Dylan Connor once again getting himself to the inside of Scott Austin, but Austin is making that outside line work when he does get there, able to carry a bit more momentum and is able to keep that position for now. As once again the 90's going to look to the inside. He's going to look to try to get down there, but Austin is going to sail it into turn 3 and come out of turn 4 ahead once again. So Scott Austin doing well to be a tail gunner for Bryan Hacker.
Yeah, he's able to get that momentum on the outside to stay there. It's now your top 5, make it your top 6. All get single file. You got to go back here to Donitzen, who's trying to make a work around the number 60 of Odegaard. How about the 85 of Austin Williams coming right there? And Dustin Shepard, remember, he came down on pit road, Kelly, already back inside the top 10 as we got a little stack up and Donitzen's going to go around.
Oh, right, as Dylan Connor had a run once again, but Rob Donitzen going to be spun around to the inside of the back straightaway. Big dent to the rear end of that car, but I hope he is all right. Also a little bit of damage to the front side, so hopefully a little bit of sledgehammer work and pit road will be able to get that thing up to showroom condition once again.
Yeah, they'll be able to see there, and we'll take a look there. It looked like a little bit of a stack up off the corner as he took a look to the inside underneath Odegaard. Williams right there as well. Oh, Odegaard got in the back of Eschen, checked up, and then the 00 of Donitzen had the check up. And Williams nowhere to go, gets in the back of him, and around he will go. It doesn't look like he hit anything too hard, though, Kelly, so he should be able to live on as he has headed down pit road with a handful of other drivers.
Yeah, a number of drivers going to try to get a little bit more damage repaired while trying to not go any further laps down. There are a few that have gone a few laps down, like the 45 car. He is still out there, but he is 8 laps down. There are a few drivers that I think that have called it a night. Travis Heffler, Ethan Wolf, Jeff Bergener, and Scott Negus have been down there for quite a while.
That they have, and they've had a lot of damage based in that wreck there. Same with the 36 of Wolf. So we'll get those guys straightened out. Hopefully they get back on the racetrack. Any laps are good laps. As they work underneath this yellow flag, Bryan Hacker out front took the race lead. Scott Austin second, Dylan Connor, Randy Nichols, and Rodney Huntoon your top 5. And a lot of movers and groovers already early on in this race with 120 laps to go.
Yeah, we have a number of drivers that have moved their way up. Randy Nichols up 15, Austin Williams 14. There are some drivers that have gone the opposite direction, though, is not even ones that are completely out of the race. Rob Donitzen still out there, I believe. He's now gone a lap down as we go to the choose cone here, as we've got drivers going all over the place, and it's kind of similar to, again, inside, outside, inside, outside. So we're going to have Hacker and Austin locking out the front row once again.
So we'll see what's going to happen here on this front stretch, and it should be pretty good. We'll see what happens on this restart, but we were able to see Bryan was able to get away, and Scott was able to get down a little bit. But you got to watch that Dylan Connor. He is very, very good on these restarts, and he'll be ready to go to try to fill that hole if there's one that begins to show. Huntoon doing a good job hanging out inside of the top 5, and Randy Nichols in P number 5. Gary Eschen will restart 6. Odegaard and Williams, Braiden Campbell, and Dustin Shepard rounding out your top 10. Green flag being Barney's right hand. Green flag is up. It is waving. And the Sandi Paws Rescue season kickoff is underway once again here.
And once again, Hacker going to lead the field down into turn 1. Scott Austin can't quite find the bottom just yet. He is going to be clear of the 90, though. But the 69 of Nichols is going to just basically push Connor down the back straightaway. It looks like Randy Nichols has got some speed. He just can't find any clear track to use it. So we'll have to see if he can find himself an opportunity to get around this little bit of a rolling roadblock he's got in front of him, as the 90 of Connor is starting to close up to Scott Austin once again. Meanwhile, on the outside is Rodney Huntoon. He's looking for his own opportunity. Oh, just behind them, Eschen turns sideways, and hard into the wall goes Gary Eschen and Braiden Campbell. The wall is going to straighten them up. We are going to keep going, but I think the front clip has come off of that 23 machine.
Yeah, Eschen's car in trouble along with the 33. And it looks like Eschen might be heading pit side with that 33 car. No, they are racing it to 23 in the third lane. More contact off the corner. Eschen's going to take out and go to the infield. As we go back up front, Rodney Huntoon working the outside, going to try to make something happen around Connor. Josh Cole headed pit side.
Yeah, Dylan Connor trying to hold the inside line as Rodney Huntoon is working that high side. We may be seeing the high side starting to come in here as a lot of drivers are rolling that bottom lane. It may have been heated up and there may just be a little bit more grip on the high side. We'll have to see if the 12 Huntoon and the 69 of Nichols can get around Dylan Connor here, as pretty much this entire top 5 is just nose to tail.
They are nose to tail on this racetrack. I think it's going to take a little bit, Kelly, and I could be wrong, but I think it could take a little bit to see that groove widen out where we see 2-3 lines in there. It's been a couple laps in a yellow, and Nichols into the backside of the 90 as we are watching from the RC2 Graphics Solutions cam. Odegaard going to try to swing to the outside to make something happen. And he was unable to do so as Randy Nichols and Connor made a little bit of contact.
And they are able to sort themselves out for now, but I think the 69 of Nichols is getting impatient. He's wanting to go forward, but there was no space for him to go, and he's trying to kind of go through a solid object, which doesn't really work most of the time on the racetrack, but he's going to get right back up to the bumper of Connor, and he's going to still look for an opportunity, and that opportunity is going to be going right through him once again.
And we go on board with Nichols. That time got a little bit loose up off the corner, allowing the lead the pack number 90 of Connors to get away from him. But Nichols' car really getting through the center of the racetrack and off the corner really well right now.
Yeah, that thing is carrying a good amount of speed, but he's just got to find the opportunity to use it. As we've got that top 3 starting to open up a little bit of a gap. Hacker over Austin over Huntoon, as those 3 try to run away from the rest of the field, as we are getting a fairly decent green flag run here for the first time tonight.
And Connor running the fastest lap last time by with a 19.98. The leader's a 20.1. And that is how they work. There is now the 69 to Nichols once again getting some air to that Thunderbird's front end, maybe to helping them turn in the center of the corner, but they've kind of leveled it out. As Connor says, all right, well, I got bumped from behind. Maybe it's time to go.
Yeah, Connor's closed himself up now. He's running a little bit of a different line. A couple of those guys are kind of easing up a little bit into that second lane, trying to maybe find where the grip is on the racetrack and also figure out where they can save the tires a little bit, as they're trying to make these things last as long as possible, even though they do have unlimited sets under the or in the pit road. So then we'll see a few of these guys come down a little bit later on, and pretty much everyone has come down pit lane now at some point tonight, except for our top 6, along with Austin Williams in 12th and Braiden Campbell in 17th.
Yeah, they get a little bit deeper back there at the battle. Braiden Campbell, remember him and Gary Eschen had an on-track excursion, and Campbell able to continue on. Eschen has pulled the 23 behind the wall. Lewis Flowers, a rookie this season, and the number 40 car running back in the 16th spot right there in front of him. the car number 2, and that's Dan Janjanin running in P number 15. Chad McLeod right there in front of him in the 14th spot. Rob Donitzen down a couple laps to the race leaders right now, Kelly. But you're never out of it. He's only down 1 to get that yellow flag, get that lucky dog. Something can happen, as we just saw Matt Cook get around the 15, getting around the 85 of Austin Williams to move himself into the 12th position. Williams still decent pace, though, missing the front end there after a little bit of an incident earlier on in this race, and already 1/3 of this race down. We want to tip to the cap to our friend Racing Jason out there tuning on in. Racing Jason, glad to have you. You know Jason, don't you?
Oh, yes, I do. But Dylan Connor, he's getting to know Randy Nichols here tonight, as Nichols has pulled to alongside his door a few times, trying to get a good run through the entrance of these corners, but it is Connor getting a better exit. But once again, he's got nowhere to go, as he has some good pace, but Rodney Huntoon is as well running that kind of late apex line that a few of these guys are starting to use.
I don't have many laps in the driver's seat here at the Kern County Raceway, but what I have had, this racetrack very racy. The front stretch kind of like a bow, and it kind of comes up quick, as now Nichols takes a look to the inside once again, as the top 5 cars that were once spread out are underneath the blanket again. And right now, as Nichols taking a look to the inside on Connor roars back on that outside. We are seeing some good action back here. Oh, a little bit of door contact. They slide off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Connor still holding on the outside, though. The outside lane is doing well. It's carrying a good amount of speed, as it looks like the 69 car can run better lap times, but he just doesn't have the run off of the corner to actually make the pass on the inside work. So it seems like he's going to have to maybe try to figure out another method here, or maybe just continue trying to brute force this bottom lane through, but it's seemingly not working, as he's starting to lose ground to Dylan Connor once again, and Connor now going to clear him coming down into turn 3, but Randy Nichols going to once again dive down to that bottom lane. Just not going to work now, and that 90 car is going to be completely clear. And the 90 of Connor has got to find his own opportunity to move forward. He has some pace, but there's just no space for him to make a move on Huntoon.
And we are 20 laps in since our last yellow flag, as they work down around here, as they are still there. How about Odegaard in that 6th spot, Kelly? One of the drivers that ran the late model stock tour with the Renew Seal coating last season finds himself inside the top 10. Right there behind him, though, Dustin Shepard in the Zufab Garage 89. Grosser in that Leaf Filter 16 car. They both have been down pit road at least once here this evening. Remember, that strategy is going to come into play, especially as Green Flag Racing continues here at the Kern County Raceway.
And these drivers are limited to 40% of a fuel tank, as you mentioned earlier on tonight. And I don't know what that is going to come to for laps, but I believe the intention is that they will not make the full distance, as Connor gets a good run off of turn 2. He's going to get completely alongside Huntoon coming down into turn 3. Is it going to be enough to make the pass work, though? Huntoon going to roar back on that high side. We've seen the high side work, as Connor was able to do it himself to defend against Randy Nichols, and now Nichols going to try to use that opportunity to get himself through on the high side. Huntoon, though, can't quite get clear. He will now coming down the back straightaway, and this is going to allow an opportunity for Nichols to move himself up into 4th place as he tries to make that outside line work, and it is going to work over Connor.
Yeah, Connor's going to have to back out of it and gets back in line. At some point, do you think we see someone venture up into that 3rd lane? Because we've seen how it is working up there. Cool, someone trying to go even higher. That is what's going to be seen. I tell you, Justin Grosser back here. He's wearing out the back side of Dustin Shepard. And here comes Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson. He's up on the charge. Oh, Grosser down to the inside. Almost contact with Shepard. I don't think he could have fit a piece of paper between those cars off turn number 4.
And we've got a battle for third here as Nichols is looking to the inside of Huntoon. He's trying to use that bottom lane, but I mean, he just saw Dylan Connor was not able to make it work. He wasn't able to make it work on Connor, as now Huntoon has a bit of a slide up on that high side. Just behind them, we've got another battle shaping up as Dustin Shepard is on the bottom. He's trying to get through as Justin Grosser is on the high side, and Amos Odegaard also trying to defend on that high side. And just behind all of them, Ryan Johnson just watching and waiting, seeing if he can find himself an opportunity.
And right there behind them, how about Adam Gable in that 91 car, one of our admins here tonight. I'd like to wish our friends tuning on in at home, the 46 of Philip Martin, along with our good friend Robbie, who does a lot of our graphic work at RC2 Graphic Solutions. They're tuning on in here tonight. We'll miss them on the racetrack, Kelly, but they'll be back with us soon. As Randy Nichols now, he's going to get slid back to that fifth spot. Connor back around the outside.
Yeah, it is exactly the mistake that Connor had made. Tried to make the pass on the inside, gives up the outside, and now he's just pushing against Dylan Connor. And I don't know if that defense is going to quite work for him. He's trying to force himself up into that second lane just because that inside isn't working. Just behind them, big slider, it looked like, from the 16, and that is going to cost Amos Odegaard as he took some heavy damage. Now he's straight on into the wall in turn 3, and a bit of an unfortunate situation for the 60 car as his night seems to have just taken a turn for the worse.
Yeah, it looks like Odegaard's right front tire might be down on the 60 after contact with the outside retaining wall, as he is slow on the apron of 1 and 2. Looks like he'll be headed pit side. So a tough break for Odegaard, who was running inside the top 10 most of the night, Kelly. A tough break for that driver.
Yeah, he had been making some good moves here as he was running up towards the front of the field, but it looks like he just got a little bit loose coming off of turn 2, got tagged by another car, and it kicked him right into the wall, and really heavy damage on that right front, probably bent it out of shape, and just was not able to make that next corner as Randy Nichols and Dylan Connor were able to get themselves sorted out. Dylan Connor going to hang on to 4th place for now, as Bryan Hacker continues to hold on to a fairly small lead, only half of a second here. That is the biggest lead he's had tonight, though, so it has been very tight racing all around.
And probably managing that gap there. We know he's a wily old veteran and defending champion, as we're watching the 16 of Justin Grosser working off of turn number 4. And Kelly, he was down on pit road lap 29, and it looked like he might have taken some tires and definitely put some fuel into that 16 car. So we know he's going to be able to go a little bit further than the guys racing in front of him. Will that be the deciding factor in this race if these drivers have to come down pit road? Again, we do not know the distance that these drivers can go. No one would give up that information. They were pretty tight-lipped. We walked around the garage area this afternoon, and I don't know about you, Kelly, but every time I got near the crew chiefs on these cars, they'd slam shut those computers and the notebooks, and nobody wanted to talk to me.
I mean, Bryan Hacker wouldn't even tell us which lane he wanted to run earlier on tonight. So these guys are being very quiet about their strategies, very quiet about the things they've found with this car here, and trying to look for any edge they can. And Bryan Hacker really starting to open the gap up now, as there is a cluster of about 7 cars behind him now, starting with Scott Austin, and then you've got Huntoon, Connor, Nichols, Grosser, Shepard, and Johnson all kind of clustered up here looking for opportunities to make moves, as Randy Nichols going to now dive down to pit road. Was not able to make these passes work, was trying to force his way by Dylan Connor, but now is going to try to play the strategy game as he has come down pit road halfway through this race.
Yeah, and he is down in his pit stall. We'll see what happens with that. Kind of splitting the race in half at this time, and he brought Austin Williams with him as well. So we'll see how that strategy plays out as they work around here. Scott Austin, though, starting to feel the pressure from Huntoon, Connor, and Grosser, your top 5. As they all work down here. And I tell you, Dante Curtis starting to put pressure to Adam Gable as we watch this battle for the number 2 spot. The 38 of Ryan Johnson and Dustin Shepard have closed in on it as well. Dante Curtis takes a bit to the inside. He'll get around the on-time number 91 as Randy Nichols will come out of pit road, Kelly. So, and now Gable coming down pit road along with Dylan Connor. So some of our top 5 drivers coming down pit road.
And this is a bit of a gamble to do it under green flag stops because that is going to put you multiple laps down. It looks like Randy Nichols is 3 laps down, if I'm correct. So if a caution were to come out, it would save Bryan Hacker. He'd be able to come down pit road, get his fuel and his tires, be able to make it to the end, and he would trap multiple cars multiple laps down, as a lucky dog will only get 1 back. And right now, that's not even Randy Nichols.
Yeah. You mean when? Have you seen these guys driving back here? Dustin Shepard, Ryan Johnson leaning on each other. Here comes the 69 of Nichols. He's going to try to make it underneath them with those fresh Hoosier Racing street stock tires, as he'll try to get at least 1 lap back the hard way. But he's got a long way to go. Like you said, Kelly, these drivers all coming down pit road. Adam Gable just coming out, losing 2 to 3 laps depending on how long you sit on pit road. But the question is, when will we see our leaders come down pit road? Bryan Hacker opening up the largest lead of the evening, up to 1.6 seconds, as now Grosser comes down. And you know that Grosser, Ryan Johnson, and Dustin Shepard came in on lap number 7, but Grosser, he can definitely go a little bit further than the guys coming down pit road right now. He was in on lap 29.
Yeah, and it's looking like the undercut may be a good strategy call if it does completely pan out here, as Randy Nichols has got a ton of speed. Will probably put him ahead of a few other drivers. I'll see where Dylan Connor is going to come out. Looks like Dylan Connor is out on the racetrack. I believe Connor is still ahead of Nichols, so I think Connor may have possibly taken only 2 tires or just had a much shorter stop.
And the caveat to those 2 drivers, though, Kelly, is Donitzen is only 1 lap down in that 13th position, and he is still on the racetrack. So he came in on lap 29 as well. As Bryan Hacker peels off the racetrack, he'll make his way to the pit road as your race leader now on pit road.
And Ronnie Huntoon going to get passed up here by Justin Grosser and Ryan Johnson as Scott Austin takes over the race lead. Looks like Dustin Shepard is going to get himself through, as well as now Huntoon is going to come down pit road. So now pretty much everyone has come down to pit at least once tonight. The only drivers that have not, actually there's only 1 driver who have not come down yet, and that is our current leader, Scott Austin. So everyone else has taken tires and fuel at some point here tonight, as Grosser and Johnson battle it out for what's effectively going to be the race lead.
Yeah, and they are closing in on the 5 of Austin right now. As Huntoon, I don't know if you saw it or not, Kelly, he missed the entrance, got down on those marbles. Slide job in the turn number 1, crossover off turn number 2. Johnson and Grosser throwing haymakers at each other here on the opening night. They are fighting like 2 caged dogs out here in the Sandi Paws Rescue season opener. And man, we thank Sandi Paws. We hope that if anybody out there looking to foster or adopt, give a dog a second chance, that is what you need to do. You need to give those dogs a second chance. I don't know about you, Kelly. I've got myself a pug. He is a little bit of a jerk sometimes, but I love him, and my kid loves him. But those dogs, I tell you, they really do make a difference in your life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've got one of myself. Oh, actually, we're going to cut that story off as Scott Austin now dives down to pit road. And, oh, big slide. How did he keep it off the barrier? I wish we had a view of his heart rate right now, because I think that just spiked as he nearly went sideways into the pit wall on the pit entry there. Somehow able to save it, somehow able to keep himself from getting skewered. And he's going to manage to get himself down to the safety of pit road. Ryan Johnson now takes over the race lead as Justin Grosser tries to chase him down. So Johnson pit on lap 18, Grosser on lap 29. He actually pit 3 times. He pit every single caution. So it seems like Grosser had this plan. He was expecting to eventually get a long green flag run, and he wanted to go as long as possible, possibly hoping to either trap cars a lap down or maybe even go all the way to the end. We'll have to see how many laps he's going to be able to do, but Justin Grosser and Dante Curtis also pit on lap 29.
Yeah, so right now, Kelly, if, the force of the hand, let's assume that Bryan Hacker and Scott Austin, right? Dustin Shepard coming in this time as well, so he'll give up a top 5 spot. You can make it 85-ish laps. They do not have enough fuel in that car, potentially, this is all potential, to go the distance. So right now, Ryan Johnson, Justin Grosser, Dante Curtis, your top 5, top 10 cars, or top 7 cars, all really looking for possibly a secondary yellow flag to help save some fuel. Then, like you said, right now, Connor, some of the fastest cars that we've seen all night that were up front, they are trapped 2 laps down right now.
Yeah, and Connor was able to jump Hacker with that pit strategy, and it looks like Connor is actually a full lap ahead of Huntoon. So I think Dylan Connor elected to only take 2 tires, and that may be a huge difference maker just because of how long it takes to change tires here, as Dante Curtis is going to get underneath Justin Grosser as he tries to battle for second place here. Grosser trying to make those tires work and to make them last. Dante Curtis hit on the same lap as him, so his tires are looking pretty much the same. We may have that inside line starting to come back a little bit, as Grosser was not able to defend on that high side. It looks like we've got another lap car as well with them, and that is the 91 of Adam Gable trying to just work his way through.
So they are working through this as well. The 16 of Grosser right there behind them. Lewis Flowers out there. He pitted back on lap number 19. He rounds out the 6th spot as Chad McLeod has brought the 93 in the pit road. So right now, 6 cars left on the lead lap, Kelly. Lap 99 right now as Ryan Johnson leads over Dante Curtis, and Curtis feeling the pressure from Gable, who just came down on pit road, as you alluded to. So they got the speed difference between fresh tires and some drivers that have been out on tires is quite drastic right now.
Oh yeah, it is a few tenths of a second, and it is definitely a big difference maker. But the question is, how long can these guys go? What happened to Johnson there? Was he trying to pit? Yeah, I think he did make a late call to come down pit road and ended up missing pit road. So that is going to cost Ryan Johnson, and that is going to allow Dante Curtis to take over the race lead for now. But it looks like he's shading towards the inside. Yeah, Curtis is now going to make the call. He's going to come down pit road. And now the 38 is going to find pit road. Justin Grosser going to take over the race lead, and he's going to basically be the only car on the lead lap other than Lewis Flowers.
Robbie Clavey able to make it back out onto the racetrack. I believe he missed the start of the race, Kelly. Good to see Robbie out there in the 73 car as the leaders work around him. And right now, if you are the guys trapped down laps and you can get around Grosser, that's only going to help you. Because right now, Grosser, the only car on the lead lap, is all these drivers passing them, earning some laps back right now.
Yeah, that will help them, especially if it can make it so that they're only 1 lap down, because then they will not have to rely on the lucky dog. They can just wait for Grosser to pit under caution and just take a wave by as they go around, as looks like Justin Grosser is basically trying to just stay out of the way of these guys that have their fresher tires. He's got Dylan Connor right behind him. Connor trying to get his lap back. Justin Grosser not wanting to make it easy for him, though.
No, and at this point, if you're Grosser, just let them go, right? You know that they're down multiple laps. Right now, Donitzen and now Connor will be the second car 1 lap down. The question that I would be asking is, how long do you want to stay out? How much ground are you going to allow to be given up as you're out there? When you know these drivers on fresher tires continue to circulate around the racetrack. And it looks like we're going to find that answer not too long, is now Grosser going to pull the leaf filters number 16 down on the pit road.
So Grosser is going to finally come down pit road. I believe that's going to pass the race lead to Rob Donitzen for now, as Dylan Connor will be a little bit behind him, but it will eventually come to Rob Donitzen. I believe he has to come back around the field one more time, or around the track one more time, to officially pass Justin Grosser, who is on pit road right now. So that 00 of Donitzen takes over the race lead, as we have got just a handful of laps to go. We are coming into that final third.
Yeah, already this one's flying by, Kelly. There's 41 minutes of green flag racing action here in the season opener for the Street Stock Series presented by Sandi Paws Rescue. Sandi Paws Rescue, located in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and is a 100% volunteer run. They foster home-based animal rescue dedicated to saving lives of abused, neglected, and unwanted dogs and cats. They provide safe shelter, medical care, rehabilitation, and loving forever homes for animals in need. Their mission? Well, it's simple: to protect the quality of life and improve the well-being of abused, neglected, and unwanted companion animals. For more information, you can head online to sandypaws.org or give them an email at sandypawsrescue@gmail.com. As your race leader coming down pit road, so now Dylan Connor going to become your race leader in about 12 seconds as they work around turns 3 and 4. So staying out a little bit later, I believe Connor should be able to go the rest of the way, I think, Kelly.
Oh, absolutely. He came down on lap 78, so if he was able to get halfway through this race, he should be able to make it to the end. We did have a few cautions to start the night, but I don't think these guys were really stressing for fuel. I mean, we saw the guys that hit on lap 29 go pretty long as well, so we'll see if Dylan Connor can hold off until the end. He's running about a tenth of a second a lap slower than the cars directly behind him, as he pit about 20 laps earlier than them. Dante Curtis being the one running in second place right now. So Dylan Connor last pit lap 78 and Dante Curtis lap 101. So there is a bit of a tire advantage, but there is also a 4-second gap to make up.
Yeah, right there in front of him, they are 3 wide with a 91 of Adam Gable on the outside of Huntoon and Dan Janjanin. 38 of Ryan Johnson down to the inside. Johnson sits in that 13th spot. And right now, Kelly, with the cycling through of pit road, we've got 13 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, as we see Scott Negus come down pit road along with Ethan Wolf. Those guys multiple laps down. Dylan Connor still trying to work his way through lap traffic, and this is not helping him out at all, as Dante Curtis has already cut down that lead to 3.5 seconds, as Curtis seems to be having a fairly open racetrack for himself to work with, as Connor has got about 4 cars just all around him. So Connor not really able to get the full potential out of that race car, and that is costing him 0.3 of a second a lap at this point.
That and 22 lap older tires than Curtis. Curtis coming down on pit road on lap 101. Same with Matt Cook, who runs in that number 3 spot. Matt Cook, a driver in that unsponsored 15 car, looking good so far as he is trying to outrun the 16 of Justin Grosser. And they got some 2 seconds on early race leader Bryan Hacker, who finds himself in the 5th spot.
Yeah, Bryan Hacker finding himself a little bit further back after that pit call, and a little bit unlike Bryan Hacker. He's usually got a very good pit strategy. It looks like tonight is not quite working out for him. We'll have to see as this night goes on, because he was one of the first ones to come down pit road fairly early on after Nichols and Connor came down. So Hacker came down on lap 85, and it's been a long time since then, as we're still closing in towards the tail end of this race. Dylan Connor still trying to work through lap traffic. He's got Gable on his outside, Flowers just behind him. So Connor still can't quite use the full extent of the racetrack, and that's still holding him back. Dante Curtis continues to close the gap. It is only 2.3 seconds now.
Yeah, we are on board with Dante Curtis, and you can start to see that race leader in front of him out the front windshield as they work up off of turn number 4. Now Connor able to put 2 cars between himself and that man, the 03 of Dante Curtis, as he's gotten around the 40 of our rookie of Lewis Flowers. And now Connor going to come to pit road, Kelly.
That is quite the call. Maybe they don't have enough fuel to make it all the way to the end, because Dylan Connor, even if he had the fuel, even if he didn't have the tires, it was probably a good bet to just stay out there. So it looks like the 40% fuel tank is forcing these guys to pit multiple times, and that may help a guy like Dante Curtis, who went a little bit further on before coming down to pit.
Yeah, and they were on pit road for 54 seconds for your top 2. 52 seconds for Matt Cook, so 2 seconds, we would assume 2 seconds less fuel. But again, Cook been on pit road twice. Dante and Justin both more times on pit road, so you would think that their fuel tank would have been a little bit more full. So it's all going to be interesting here as we close in on the later 25 laps to go in the Sandi Paws Rescue season opener here for the North-South Racing League Street Stock Series. And it is a barn burner of a race.
Yeah, so those drivers that came down earlier on during the first cautions of the night, and that allowed them to extend the run over that long green flag run, that may work out for them because they've basically got their second pit stop done right off the drop of a hat. If they can make it to the end, though, that's the big question. Can Dante Curtis make the fuel last 50 laps? I think so.
I mean, we saw Bryan Hacker go 85 at the start of this one before coming down pit road.
And yeah, Scott Austin went 90.
So I think it's possible. The question is, did they fill the tank in pit road? And that's what our friend Philip Martin has asked on the YouTube chat. Is what the important question is: how much fuel do the leaders take? It's hard.
Yeah, they could have short fueled expecting a caution, but I mean, if they didn't have to take a full tank to make it to the end, they should be okay.
Right now, Dante Curtis has 3.5 seconds over Grosser, so if he is even a flicker of being close on this one, he could back it down a little bit, but it doesn't look like he's backing it down as that lead continues to grow. Matt Cook is growing ever so closer to the driver of the number 16 of Justin Grosser. So we take a look at that battle for second, just 1 second back to the Grosser car. So Grosser able to pull away just a little bit. So everyone kind of settling in there, Kelly, but the strategies are plentiful out here tonight at the Kern County Raceway for the season opener of the Sandi Paws Rescue Street Stock Series for the North-South Racing League. And we want to thank all you guys tuning on in here and watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let those drivers know that you appreciate their efforts for you here tonight, as they've put it on for almost 130 laps so far. As Dante Curtis is your race leader, as he works around the 91 of Gable. Gable going to go back 1 lap to the rears. Is now the 34 car trying to work underneath your race leader. And I believe that is Ethan Wolf, and Wolf down multiple laps here after getting into some trouble early on, not of his doing.
Yeah, and we expect these longer races to have a little bit of strategy, especially when they give them unlimited sets of tires, because then that becomes a fuel race. Again, especially when they cut how much of a fuel tank they've got by as much as they did. So it has given us a wide variety of strategies, as you've said. I mean, you look over at the pit lap counter that we've got on our other screen here, on our own personal timing and scoring screens, and so there's a lot of different numbers over there. Normally, we see on a lot of these races, it pretty much all looks the same because we have maybe a caution around the midway point. Everyone pits then, takes their tires, tops up their tanks, and then we're good to the end. And then it's just outright pace.
Right.
These long showdown races that we have in the 3 times in a season really allows these guys to kind of open up their strategy books here and see what they can make work. And right now, it's looking like Dante Curtis is he's still got 3.4 seconds over Justin Grosser. And Dante Curtis, he started all the way back in 15th here tonight.
That they have, and they are working around here. Next week, the series will head out to the East Coast to the Myrtle Beach Speedway. As we start getting into the heart of this one with just 16 laps to go, Kelly, we're looking forward to a great finish here tonight as Dante Curtis picking up the pace, and really your top 4 cars all running 20.2, so not a lot of ground being made up inside that top 5 as Bryan Hacker starting to close in on that podium spot as he runs in the 4th spot. But Dante Curtis is going to come off turn number 4. 14 laps to go for the driver of the 03.
Yeah, just 14 laps to go, and he should have more than enough fuel and more than enough of a gap over Justin Grosser, as Grosser is only able to kind of chip away at that gap. It still sits at about 3.3 seconds as Curtis is not running into the issue that Connor had earlier on. He has not been troubled by the lap traffic too much. He's been able to pretty much run the full width of the racetrack and carry a good amount of speed, and this is all kind of falling into place for him tonight.
And a good battle on the racetrack right now. This is for the 7th position between Dustin Shepard and Ryan Johnson. And Kelly, I think the gloves are off. I think the patience have run thin. These two drivers are bouncing off each other, door banging, wheel rubbing, and once again off turn number 4. These drivers are all putting it on the line for us right now as they are trying to gouge for every point that they can as they work up off the corner. Johnson and Shepard side by side in the turn number 3. No one giving an inch.
Yeah, you may think, oh, it's only for 7th place, but those points will matter, especially over such a short 10-week season for these drivers. Is Ryan Johnson going to have the nose ahead at the line there? Shepard not giving up just yet. He's still trying to hang on. Both of these guys wanting to be in title contention later on in the season, but it's all going to have to start tonight. But they just have to make sure they don't take it a step too far, because it's very easy for them to do so and then drop back 10 spots into the DNF positions.
That they need to do is they are still side by side. We're on the Sandi Paws rescue onboard camera looking out the right door of Ryan Johnson. Just seeing how close they are, Kelly. Lap in and lap out, and these drivers doing a masterful job. If that was you and me, we'd be in the fence.
No, probably. I think one of us would have lost it off of turn 4 right into the other. So, and look at the crossover though by Dustin Shepard. Wasn't able to get it done on the outside. Then he's able to carry the momentum though and give up the outside to the 38 and try to get himself back there to the inside through 3 and 4. Johnson able to defend him off up there as he does have slightly fresher tires pitting on lap 101 compared to 93, but at that point it really becomes a little bit more of who conditioned the tires better, and it looks to be Ryan Johnson as he's still holding on to 7th place over Dustin Shepard. A little bit further back, we got Chad McLeod and Rodney Huntoon still kind of looking for a battle for position. Dan Janjanin along with them, trying to get himself up into the top 10, which he may have an opportunity to do as Huntoon just caught the wall off of turn 2.
Yeah, and right now off of turn number 4, Dante Curtis, when he gets there, we'll see Barney giving him the high 5 signal with 5 laps to go in the season opener showdown race presented by Sandi Paws Rescue. And right now Dante Curtis playing the strategy card right with a 3-second lead. Grosser has cut into it, but not enough time. 4 laps to go, but the battle for 3rd could start to shape up. Bryan Hacker has caught Matt Cook.
Yeah, Hacker trying to get himself up onto the podium, get a few more points to start his attempt at defending his title here. He's going to get right up to the bumper of that 15 car. There is a not big difference in the tires, but that's actually in the favor of Matt Cook, who pit more recently, but it's going to be Bryan Hacker easily taking the position off of turn 4. He's going to move himself up into the podium with just a couple of laps to go. Dante Curtis, though, he's got drivers battling for position right in front of him while he's just wanting to cruise to the finish here. As 2 laps to go, he just has to keep it safe, keep it clean, as he's got a 3-second lead over second place of Justin Grosser.
Yeah, 2 to go as they'll come off the turn number 4. The white silk will fly as Dante Curtis looking to go to victory lane strike first as they work down in the corner, and he's got a gaggle of cars right there in front of him as they roll down the backstretch. Can ease it home. 2 seconds in front of Grosser. Dante Curtis going to start back in P number 15. He's going to take the first checkered flag in the Sandi Paws Rescues Street Stock Series.
And he will cruise to a victory here for the Kern Kickoff 150. Dante Curtis playing the strategy right, and that is going to be a huge win to start off the season.
A very big win. Bryan Hacker going to come home third, Matt Cook fourth, and Scott Austin rounding out your top 5 in car number 5. How about Randy Nichols 6th, Ryan Johnson, Dustin Shepard, Rodney Huntoon, and Lewis Flowers, your top rookie of the race, going to come home in P number 10 as they get right down there on victory lane. We will send Kelly out of the tower, and as we do that, we're going to step aside right here real quick on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll be right back with the Sim Race Hub's post-race show. And welcome back here to the Turn 3 Racing Network as we just saw a fantastic races. Now we head into the post-race show sponsored by SimHub Race or SimHub.com, and that's where you can find out all your information on the league along with results, points, and all of that information. But we really thank the guys at SimRaceHub.com for being our official post-race sponsor of the North-South Racing League. And Kelly, you have made it downstairs into victory lane in a very, well, I don't know if he looks too worn out, but a Dante Curtis awaits you.
Yeah, catching up now with race winner Dante Curtis, and Dante, looks like the pit strategy ended up working out in your favor. I mean, was this the strategy that you had coming into the race?
The strategy I had coming into the race was first off was show up. I bought the track probably 30 minutes before the race started, and I knew it was going to be a long fuel mileage race, and we had a couple cautions there early, and I qualified terribly, so just wanted to keep fuel in it. And then we got that long green flag run, and man, how many green flag run races, fuel mileage races have we seen Ryan Johnson win? So he was right in front of me, so I was just going to copy whatever he did. And I think he missed the pit entry and screwed himself over, so that just helped us out even more.
Yeah, he did indeed miss that entry, so it looks like he had the right call and you had the right call following him, but ends up working out in your favor. Out on the racetrack, though, how did you find the car? Was it a handful, or did you have that thing kind of on a rail here tonight?
While I was by myself or in traffic, I felt like I was terrible and couldn't get underneath somebody or pass cars. I fired off pretty good on the top, but eventually the bottom guys were starting to drive by me, and I started burning my stuff up, so I started riding there for a little bit. But once we kind of got singled out there and spaced out, and everybody could kind of maneuver and not get blocked in, we could make some passes.
Well, next week we're going to be moving along here to Myrtle Beach. It's a fairly decent length as well at 100 laps. Do you think you're going to be able to make the strategy work again next week?
Oh yeah, dude, that place is awesome. Hopefully we can just follow Ryan Johnson again, whatever he does, and hopefully he misses the pit entry. It's on the back stretch, so I doubt he will, but hopefully we get the fuel mileage right, because should be fast there.
All right, Dante. Well, before we let you go, who would you like to thank for your win here tonight?
Yeah, I just got to thank all the guys at the NSRL for giving us a place to race, man. A lot of seasons we've raced here, and it's good to be back to kick it off with a dub. Didn't think we was going to be here. All the guys back at DCD Racing, Ethan, Dustin, Phil, Gary, and Dandy Man, Dan Janjanin, Dad for watching, and Black Magic Performance, hopefully coming soon to open setup racing near you.
All right, Dante. Well, thank you so much for coming out and talking to us. Congratulations once again on your win, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you next week at Myrtle Beach.
Thanks, guys. Hope to see you then.
All right, Dante Curtis takes home the race win after copying another driver's fuel strategy, but he's able to make it work, and he crosses the line first to take the first win of the season. Al, I believe you're going to be caught up now with our second place finisher.
Yeah, and I just want a quick add, Kelly, and I believe unofficially that'll give Dante Curtis the Hard Charger Award for tonight, and that is being brought to you by RC2 Graphic Solutions. So congratulations unofficially on that. Up 14 spots here tonight to get that W, and as we roll into second place is our driver of the number 16, Mr. Justin Grosser. And Justin, man, not without hanging your tongue out the window on that one, man. What a great drive for this car. You were able to come back and finish in this P2. Talk about this race. Talk about the strategy and how crazy it was out there in lap traffic.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew strategy was gonna. This is how these things usually go. There's a bunch of cautions at the beginning, and then you kind of green flag out towards the middle end of the race. And I just knew, basically, if I could just stay as full of fuel as possible, that way when we get to that green flag run, when I do eventually have to pit, I can take less fuel than everybody. And it just worked out. I got put towards the back there. I pitted on lap 6 or like whatever lap it was, 4 or 5 from a 6th spot, and just had to kind of buy my time back there. But then once we got rolling again, I ended up, I was 8th, 9th place, and I was looking in front of me, and I was like, none of the guys in front of me have pit yet, so I know I don't have to race them that hard, because I know as soon as we pit, I'm gonna leap them. But yeah, Dante, I mean, he drove by me there, and I should have been smart enough to pit with him so that he didn't short pit me and get the advantage, because I was just messing with lap traffic and stuff. I had people putting me middle 3 wide and stuff, and just lost a lot of time there. But yeah, great result. Great to come back after being gone for a while and shake the rust off and come home second. That's no easy feat over here, so I'm happy with it.
You talk about the level of competition. I mean, your top 12 in qualifying separated by less than a tenth, and the racing out there very fierce. It was not to anybody's wild imagination that we would have a little bit of carnage at the beginning of this race. You guys being so close in this racetrack, providing such great racing action. Just a little bit of a mistake on anybody's part could cause the big one. You're able to miss all that and come home with this P2 finish, and a great start to the season. Is next week we head to Myrtle Beach. How's your outlook for next week?
I've never ran real good at Myrtle Beach in anything, so we'll have to do some practice and see if I can't. It's probably a little bit less strategy. I kind of thrive on these strategy races, so probably a little bit more straightforward of a race there, being shorter. But we'll go out there, we'll give them hell.
All right, before we let you go, we'll roll the red carpet out and let you thank those that make it all possible for you here on the simracinghub.com post-race show.
Yeah, just all the admins here, Sandi Paws Rescue, J&D Farms. Everybody comes out and supports the league, man. This I've been on the admin side of it, and it's not easy, and it takes those dollar bills to keep the show rolling and put on a good show every week. So, yep, just thank you to those guys, and thank you guys for coming out and being part of it.
Well, thank you, Justin, and you have a great night. We'll hope to talk to you. Safe travels back east to Myrtle Beach. We'll see you in 1 week's time.
Yep, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Justin Grosser going to come home in P number 2, Kelly. And you're going to catch up with our defending champion, the number 2 of Bryan Hacker.
Yeah, I'm here now with Bryan Hacker. Ends up finishing 3rd here on the night, and Brian, it looked like a bit of a dogfight there throughout the tail end of the race as all the different strategies came together.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out okay for us. I felt like we had really good speed. You know, it was going to kind of come down to a strategy deal tonight, and that, it's fine. I'm not great at those, so I know Dante and Justin, they both had an opportunity to pit a few times early on, so when it came to that green flag stop that everybody had to take, they were on pit road for a little less time than we were, and that ended up kind of sealing the deal for them. But certainly not going to be upset with a third place tonight. Showed speed, no incidents, and I think we probably led the most laps. So overall, good night for us. Good start to points. We'll see if I'm going to do my best to run for points. We'll see how it goes tonight.
Well, next week we'll be moving on to Myrtle Beach. I mean, what are you kind of expecting from your own performance there?
Yeah, Myrtle Beach is one of my favorites, so looking forward to getting there. I think the schedule this year is pretty good, so looking forward to the remainder of the Mondays here in this fall season. But Myrtle Beach is certainly one we've got circled on the calendar. That's one that I always like showing up to Myrtle Beach.
Well, you start off with a third place finish. You go on next week to one of your favorite tracks. You thinking you're going to be able to put together a championship season here?
Man, I'd like to think so. We'll see. I mean, again, it's going to kind of boil down to personal life stuff and work. If I can swing every Monday. I've got a new job since we kind of wrapped up in the spring, so things look a little bit different for me now. But we're gonna try, and not only that, I mean, we've got Dante running back full time here, and honestly, he is kind of the king of street stocks and the king of this league. I've just kind of been keeping his seat warm here for the last couple seasons. So Dante's back, Ryan's back, Justin Grosser's back, Dylan Connor, who was a rookie last year in the late models, has been faster than hell everywhere we go. So I mean, it's not gonna be a cakewalk, but as long as we can make every Monday, we're gonna give it our all, and I think it's gonna be a hell of a season for for everybody watching. I think it's gonna be fun.
All right, well, Brian, we're gonna give you the floor here. Who would you like to thank for your third place run tonight?
I'd like to thank Scott Austin Designs. Got a little team car action going on this year, so had a couple good photo ops there at the front end of the race on some of those restarts. We were right next to each other, so pretty cool. So Austin Designs, Aberdeen Lodge, Carbon Junction, Boulder Beer Bar, the guys that have been on the car forever and supporting us. And thanks to the league for putting this thing on. Feels like we've been doing this NSRL thing for a long time, so it's cool to be back with 3 seasons this kind of regular racing off season. So that'll be fun, and thanks to you guys for doing this. Mainly you, Kelly. Al just pushes the buttons. We know you're the real talent.
I try to just look good. I let Al do the actual thinking part that's involved here.
You catch Al on a good day, he looks pretty damn good himself.
All right, well, thanks for coming out and talking to us, Brian. Hopefully we'll be hearing from you a few more times throughout the season, and maybe we'll hear from you next week at one of your favorite tracks at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, I sure hope so. Thanks, Kelly.
All right, that is Bryan Hacker, our third place finisher here tonight, and he's looking to put together a championship season if he can put it all together. But as he mentioned, a lot of drivers are returning, and Dante Curtis, despite having a bit of a lackluster qualifying, was able to put it together for the race win. Al,
it definitely was, and a great night of racing, and that'll do it for our post-race show tonight, Kelly, presented by SimRacerHub.com, the place where leagues keep it organized. From schedules and rosters to points, stats, and standings, SimRacerHub makes running a league simple so drivers can focus on racing. If you're looking to track your league the easy way, check out SimRacerHub.com, the official post-race show sponsor of the North-South Racing League. And Kelly, one of these nights, Brian is going to say something nice about me. I can feel it. I'm not going to hold my breath though.
Maybe one night. Maybe you need to suck up to him a little more and gas him up during the race.
Yeah, no, but what a great night of racing, and like you said, Dante Curtis, if he's back in full-time schedule here for the Sandi Paws Rescue Street Stock Series, tonight was a warning shot. Curtis, one of the most decorated racers in North-South Racing League history, and he's going to come out here and sit in victory lane on night number 1. Justin Grosser come home second, and Bryan Hacker, we heard from them inside the top 3. Some notables, though, a lot of fast drivers caught up in early wrecks here, and the season only being 10 races long, not a lot of time to dig out of a hole.
No, it is a short season since we're doing 3 seasons instead of just 2. So we only have 2 showdown events. You only have 10 races, and I believe there are no drops. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I would have to double check the rules on that, but I am not 100% sure.
So you've got to really make every race count. I mean, you have one bad night and it's a bit of an uphill battle. So Bryan Hacker is saying he didn't quite get the call right, and he was still able to salvage a 3rd place finish. And I mean, like, you saw Dylan Connor, he was having a good run, but then had to come down pit road, and that ends up dropping him all the way down to 16th, when really he should have been in the top 5 purely on pace. But it really just goes to show that pace really isn't everything in a race.
No, and you got to make these race strategy calls, and well, sometimes you're going to come out smelling the roses, and other times you're going to be the fertilizer in these in making these calls, and that's why you race. You got to race all these laps. Next week, though, 100 laps, a little bit of a short race at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Interesting to see how the calls, play calls will come out in 1 week's time. And in September, Kelly, though, Southern National and North Wilkesboro also in the month of September, before we head into racing in October, and we round up then the 2nd week of November. So a lot of racing still on tap as we move forward in this season, and it is going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to this Street Stock Series. We got a lot more action with the NSRL all season long with their other 2 series. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit next week. But Kelly, thank you for once again making the trip. I know we were on the West Coast, so a little bit shorter of a drive for you to get down here to the Kern County Raceway than it was for us to fly in from the East Coast. But thank you for once again. It is a pleasure sharing the booth with you.
Yeah, it is my pleasure to be out here every night, being able to call these races. And if this is any sort of sign of how the season is going to go, we are in for a fantastic season. And like I said, we were kind of expecting that. The Street Stocks last year put on a great show. They're going to be a great show this year. And we've also got 2 other seasons coming up right after this. Like you said, we have ARCA, and I believe it's the late model stocks as well. So some fantastic racing going to be going on all through the winter. And it's just going to be night after night of just wheel to wheel banging doors.
And it's going to be our our night here, our Monday nights, and you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you're watching it right now. Let these drivers know that you appreciate it. That's not for myself nor Kelly. That's for the drivers. They come in, they watch this race over, they see those thumbs up. That's going to make them race harder each and every week. But before we say goodbye, Kelly, we got to thank our sponsors here once again for the North-South Racing League Street Stock Series presented by Sandi Paws Rescue, RC2 Promotions and RC2 Graphic Solutions, Wizards Designs, Austin Designs, ZooFab Garage, J&G Hardwood Flooring, and Mad Plowing, along with J&D Farms. We thank you all for being a part of tonight's racing program. We'll see you next week from the Myrtle Beach Speedway. I am Upstate Al. That is our friend of the border north of the Canadian Storm, Kelly Dahl. And we thank you for watching tonight's program. Good night, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you in turn number 3.